and welcome to another reflection video. This time I've just released my yearly review, and I'm doing that once or twice a year. We'll see if I do it twice a year this year or not. And about like how's it going for me, and both on a personal level but also on a business level. And yeah, it's something I try to do because I think it's important for different reasons. And related to that, I would like to talk about a topic which is transparency and being open about information and about things. And this is something I think is actually very important because it helps people in different ways. But just to start off, from my perspective, there's like different ways of being transparent, or different levels of transparency. So, for example, one level is, or like level 0 or negative level is kind of like not being transparent. Which, like, if somebody asks you, how did you do this, or how's it going with this, and you don't really tell them the truth. You say maybe part of the truth, or you say you make things up, or something like that. That's kind of level 0 or negative transparency. Then you have like this what I would like to call reactive transparency, which is like somebody asks you and then you tell them, okay, how did you do this, or how are you doing, or what's tough, etc. And you actually tell them, okay, this is how it's going, this is what's tough, etc. And then the third level is kind of proactive transparency, like, okay, instead of waiting for somebody to ask you, you can actually tell them proactively, this is actually these are my challenges, this isn't going as I wanted to, these are insights I've learned, and things like that. And from my perspective, if you can push things into the proactive transparency as much as possible, I think that's good. And with all the digital tools we have available, proactive transparency is actually relatively easily in that sense. And also easily, not just because it's kind of easy to share, to either do a video or write or something like that, but also because people don't need to waste time listening to it. Like if you would force people to listen to your proactive transparency, then that might be not the most efficient way. But nowadays you can, for example, record or write, and then people who are looking for that can look for the proactive transparency when they want it. So they don't need to ask you for getting information. Instead, they can just kind of ask the internet or ask around you, and they can get the information. And transparency is for me important because it does a couple of things. So one of the things it does is that it helps others. So for example, if somebody wants to start a business or something like that, it helps to know how did other people start a business, what were the challenges they had, how are the people who are in the business field right now, what are they doing, what are they not doing, how can you calculate on things, like what are the numbers, all those kind of things. So it helps people a lot, and it helps both outsiders from my perspective, but also helps inside organizations. It makes it easier to kind of know, okay, how's it actually going? Maybe some numbers are available or open, but not everybody knows them. So like it helps spread information inside organizations just as much as it helps outsiders. And it also helps, in my perspective, friends, people around me who are just interested in knowing what I'm doing. And this is a way to kind of keep up with what I'm doing, because it can be kind of messy or kind of much during a year. So that's one of the things which is important for me with transparency. Another thing which is important with transparency for me is that it forces me as a person to be true. And it's not that I don't want to be true, or that I'm like kind of lying or stuff like that, but I'm a kind of person who wants to please other people. Like that's a very important thing for me. I like to please others, and because of that, I sometimes, when I get any questions, I kind of can tweak reality a little bit in the direction which the listener wants to hear. And that's something I don't really want to do. And by being transparent, I need to be able to stand for what I'm saying. So like I because the truth is visible, so I can't bend the truth without it kind of hitting me back in the face. So that's also one of the reasons why transparency is important for me, just for myself, as kind of a personal development tool. And I like that. I like to always be able to have in the back of my mind, okay, wait, I need to actually, if somebody else asks me this, I also need to be able to answer that question, or I need to be able to stand for this decision and stuff like that. So those are different things. And transparency is, in one way, super simple, but in other ways also kind of hard. The simple thing is that you can actually just share things, share information, or share numbers and share thoughts. The hard thing is daring to do it. From my experience, you get a lot back. So if it feels squeamish, or if you're unsure, I'm often convinced like better to share too much than too little. However, the problem, especially for me, the problem is that as soon as it involves other people, that's where it becomes complicated. Okay, I can share things about myself. I can share things about maybe some of the business where I'm only involved, or very few other people are involved. That's very easy. But as soon as I'm sharing things about business or project where a lot of people are involved, that's harder. Or if I share challenges where other people are involved, that's also harder. I need to kind of, because I'm not just transparent for myself in those cases, I'm actually transparent for other people as well. And if they are not okay with that, then that's kind of I'm crossing a border. So yeah, that's kind of makes it harder. So the bigger an organization grows, the harder it is to be transparent unless people there are aware of it, or are agreeing to this transparency themselves, which is something I've been actually bad at during my years, to actually talk with people about. So I've kind of had this mindset, okay, I'm being transparent, but I haven't really realized that it affects others before now in the later years, and I haven't really been that good at actually kind of getting consent from them in that sense, like having them say, yeah, but it's fine to be transparent about things which are related to me, or which are related to things I'm involved in and stuff like that. So yeah, in that sense, transparency is kind of complicated as well. But I still encourage people to be as transparent as possible, because I think that will make the world a little bit better if we all are all open with thoughts, challenges, and numbers and insights that we have. It would be very interesting to know what you think about this topic. Take care.